Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, March 21, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a reverse aging health call tomorrow night, Friday, around 9 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking about crucial elements. I most likely will have a guest on that call, and we'll be talking about your body and quality of life, and how by interacting with certain things, you can increase your longevity along with your quality of life. We're on a major discovery as a civilization. Yeah, we've created challenges for ourselves, which we all know, for the most part, what those challenges are, because they're experiences, and we're experiencing them right in this very now moment. And we're rediscovering who and what we are. We really are, because of this amnesia that we've all been given, in a way, every lifetime, you know, with a few exceptions. But when you have that, you know, you're not able to cross-reference anything. This lifetime I did this, or this lifetime I'm not going to do this, and so I'll do it. And it really moves us into not doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, as Einstein would put it. Okay, we can make comparisons. We're able to, and we're not judgmental about our past lives. You know, we don't carry it with us, and many of us have carried it through many lifetimes into this lifetime. It's not that we're consciously aware of it, but we experience things due to what we create through the ego mind and our thoughts that we already have experienced. That's why a lot of the times you may feel something's very familiar. You ever said that to yourself? What you're doing, okay, you're doing some things, okay, and it kind of comes on to within you, and it says, this really feels familiar. Really does feel familiar. You can't really put your finger on it, but it's something about it that feels familiar. And it's because you have done it in past lives, whatever it may be. Okay, in similar situations, you've done it before. That's why you know. And then people will say, "How do you know how to do that?" You know, and you go, "I've never had any formal training doing any of this. I just know how to do it." You ever done that? I just know how to do it. You know, it's because you've done it before. Not this life, the life you're in now, but some past life. And as we become courageous, okay, and as Ambrose Redmoon quoted, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear, or the understanding. That's how our hero is created, right? You're in a situation, you know, you've never really done anything out of the norm for you, you know, but something happens, and all of a sudden, you feel compelled to do something. You ever been in that situation? And it's not something that it's there. I mean, heavy duty. And it literally moves you over fear into a level of courage. And that's why people save other people's lives, and, you know, they put their own life on the line to help other people. That's why. They become fearless. So they, in those situations, as a catalyst, were able to overcome their fear and master it. Okay? And all of us have that ability to do that. And that's just the first step. The reason that we don't look at ourselves as omnipotently powerful is because we've been conditioned and programmed for so long that it's something that we accept, right? Even though it's false. So the civilization has accepted a lot of things due to the programming and conditioning of society, the human psyche, and other people's thoughts. And we usually don't question it. And you ever notice that we have this the ability to master anything we choose. All of us do. Sometimes it takes quite a bit to shake us loose from this conditioning and programming. But if you allow it, you embrace it, and you open yourself up to it, you're able to shake it off. You're no longer under the grips of this programming and conditioning. And you begin to understand that you are the master and commander of everything, really. One might say, well, what about this random stuff that comes out of nowhere? That's still you. Oh, and some have described it as being, well, that's the way the universe just puts these unexpected things out there. Not really. You do for yourself. It's just that you are not consciously aware of it. So these little twists and turns, you're the source. Why? Well, because we really enjoy experiencing. Most of us, though, on the planet, we would rather experience fluffy things, fun and unobtrusive and just real nice and easy and flowing things, and right? I think most of us are kind of look that way. But the real challenging stuff, the stuff that we create for ourselves, most without knowing it, those are the things that really shake us. It's like you ever been really shook physically? It shakes things loose and fall away. And this is why we do what we do. We become complacent, and it's not negative, it's just how we're experiencing. Remember, we are experience masters. We create these events and happenings to experience them. And one might say, well, you got to be kidding me. There's no way I would create this that I'm experiencing right now. No way. But you did. You did. So we begin to see, and this, what does that do for us? It begins, we begin to really embrace and understand that we are the master and commanders. We are the masters and commanders of our lives, how we live them, what comes in, what doesn't. We are the magnets. We attract or we push away. And we're doing all this when we have all this abundance that's there, always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever, but we don't tap into it. Why? Just because our frequencies are lower than the stream of abundance that the universe sends. It won't go down to you. Okay? It streams directly out to all of us. But if your frequencies, irritation, frustration, worry, stress, fear, if you're in that, or when you're in it, there's no way abundance flows to you. It passes right over you. So this is another understanding to increase our vibrational frequency by choice. Not to get something, say, through the heart-mind, so that we become more and more in a peaceful state, tranquil, benevolent. Doesn't mean you're not powerful, say. You be peaceful and benevolent, but supremely powerful, too. Do you see, whenever you're calm, things are much different, aren't they? When you're genuinely calm. When you relax into your body. Okay? And you know that, okay, so when I'm in the now, and I'm listening to my breath, focus on my breath rising and falling, and when I'm in the now, none of that noise is there. None of all these 60,000 plus thoughts, they're not there. Ego mind isn't there. This is truly peaceful. And ego mind's like a nag, you know, constantly nagging at you all the time. Nag, 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 nag. And it drives you up a wall at times, say, and it's never satisfied. We know that. And this is why the civilization isn't ever content. This is why. Now, obviously, there's always exceptions where people are content with how they are. They're just absolutely happy and content with their lives and who they are, and they're just fine. Right? But the majority of us aren't that way. We are constantly wanting and having, right? And needing and aspiring and driving and climbing and as much as we can to get what we want. And that's how we've been programmed. But then we begin to find out that everything we want is already ours. We just haven't connected with it yet. Doesn't it make sense that it was set up that way to begin with? Knowing who and what you are, having 100% confidence, faith, and trust in yourself and this universe, then you basically manifest anything you want whenever you want. It doesn't mean you become complacent because it's an experience every time. So you may have something, you say, oh, you know, I really like this, and then eventually you say, well, it's time to have someone else enjoy it. Right? I've enjoyed it, so someone else will enjoy it. Not many people do that. But it keeps things fresh. And there's things that you like the energy of things, right? Because your energy's in it, your personality and character, whatever it may be. And so you like it. And then eventually, sooner or later, it goes to somebody else. And they enjoy it and like it. And so on and so forth. So we have this, we are on a endless journey, and this part of the journey is for us to meet the God that we are within these bodies, to embrace, meet, sit with, an intimate conversation. Most of us have not moved into that understanding yet. Others are. And they like it so much, okay, that they don't care to leave it. That they enjoy it so much. Being in the now. Moment to moment. Focused on the breath. Mastering the ego mind is the only place you can master it. And also manifesting. It's the only place you'll be able to manifest. If you aren't in the now and relaxed into the body in meditation, that's when you ask for what you want. And I emphasize one thing, one at a time. One thing at a time. Watch what happens. Now, of course, you, as I've said before, you get doubt, right? You have even a smidgen of doubt whether or not you're going to receive that, whether or not it's going to manifest. It's done 99.999% of the time. That doubt does it every single time. So imagine that. Every one of us are the master and commanders of ourselves. No authority higher than yours. There is none higher than your authority over you, with you. Yet, since we are in this amnesia cloud as a civilization, and not knowing who and what we are deeply and eternally, we have what we have. Collectively, we've all created exactly what we're experiencing in this very moment on this planet. That's truly how powerful it is. The proof is in the pudding and eating it. That's where you're looking at it. We created all this. Even if you believe that, oh, no way. You crazy? You didn't create that stuff. You did. You imagine all the times that any of us, right, have gotten frustrated, angry, ticked off, all of it. Right? Where does all that go? That really comes from the emotional center of these bodies. And it's very powerful, and it goes out there. So you imagine all the thousands and thousands and thousands of years and all the conflicts and all the anger and all the pain and all the suffering. Where is it? You think it leaves the planet? No. So all of that creates what we're experiencing right now. We are the creators. We are the masters and commanders. Now, of course, because of the programming and conditioning that we've all received in this lifetime and others, we don't know that. We don't know it. We are not consciously aware of it. And now we're moving into the understanding that we've chosen to become consciously aware of it. Chosen to. That's the big thing. Not forced, not manipulated, none of that. We just said, it's time I go within, and it's time I understand completely who and what I am. I know I'm not this body. That's the first step. I know I'm not the personality or the character. I know that's the body. I'm not the ego mind. I'm the heart center, which is connected to the God I am, through this body. And that's pretty much it. I got to discover, I want to discover, all of my past lives. First, I got to understand who and what I am intimately, embrace that through the heart-mind. Leave the mind and ego alone as much as possible so that I can master them. These are all affirmations that one can say to themselves and then follow through with it and not say, well, I'll do that another day, or I'll do that another day, or I'll do this, or whatever. Maybe next year, things will be better so I can do that. And it's now, in the moment. That's why we talked in the beginning about courage. See? We overcome our fears by stepping into courage. And guess what? We all have courage. Some of us don't know it, but we all have courage. May not be, you do something that's huge, from society's standpoint, but it's something that you do that requires some courage. Might be a decision that you make, something that's been bugging you for a long time, and you finally just say, okay, I got to sit down with this, and I've chosen to make a decision, right? And remember, there's no right or wrong. That's a conditioning program on this planet. There's no right or wrong. There's experience. So you experience something, and this society says, well, it's right. That's the right way. You're right about that. That's ego mind. Or, oh, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. And so our ego mind, since it controls so many of us on the planet, what does it dictate? You know, oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. And it's not people get irritated because, well, you know, no, I'm right. I'm right. No, that's not right. Here, see, look. And so the ego mind takes us, and we want to be right? It's just, So imagine if there was no right or wrong, it's just experience. So someone does something a certain way, and you look at it and you say, that's not right. And they go, yeah, it works. So to me it's right. And then you say, I don't know, how did you get that to work like that? I don't know, I just did it. That's wild. And see, we're all inventors. We're all creators. We're master creators. And that's what we do 24/7. We create our lives. We create our experiences. All of it. Everything. So one might say, did we create this planet? This solar system? This galaxy? The Milky Way? Indirectly, yes, we did. Collectively, you look at all the civilizations just in this quadrant of this galaxy, which is huge, comparatively speaking. And then you look at all the intelligent life in all existence. We're all connected because we're all one. We create the illusion so that each one of us can experience things in different ways. It's fascinating. Okay? Not one of us will. Just take a half a dozen people. You pose a certain challenge, right? And each one bests the challenge. But if you were to ask each one, what did you experience there? It would be different for each one of them. There would be something a little bit different than what the other you had just spoken with shares with you. So all of us, this is where the word individuality came from. You're an individual. And a illusionary world, yeah, you're an individual because that's how it is portrayed to you. You're separate from the Johnsons down the street. Because they're down there and you're here. You're not together. Personalities are different and everything else. You may not even like the Johnsons. How can they be part of us? Not the body, the God within it. That's what I talk. That's why we're connected. That's where we're connected. We're not connected organically, the body. So imagine that, though. This is the power that we all have. This is what we're made of. This is our energy. But we do get seduced in the material physical world. How? Well, come on. It's, your amnesia, right? All you remember is being born. Mostly. You carry some imagery of a past life while you're a baby. It fades out by the time you hit 5 to 7. And then you have this life, right? And you're not told who and what you are. No one shares that with you. You don't know who it. You, as far as your name, you're a Mary Johnson. You were born on this day and this year. Here's your mother and father. Here's your family and your friends. That's what we know. We don't know anything else. Really, unless we experience it, right? But you really don't spend much time looking at that. Most of us don't. But it's quite interesting and curious. It gets our curious energy up and running. But that's pretty the plain vanilla of it for all of us. We don't reference our past lives because we have amnesia towards them. We don't know. So we can't reference them. So we have this life, and we're focused on the gratitude of every moment that we are in these bodies. And we're focused on understanding that we are the master and commander. Nobody is a master and commander over you. They never will be. Of course, you could say, well, I'll give you the authority over me. Have you ever said that to anybody? Not really. But subconsciously, you give other people the power over you. Now, it's not like you say, oh, I gave my power over to so-and-so. But you just do it inadvertently. And so then what happens? The ego mind kicks in from others, and then they control you through different avenues and directions. They control you. And you don't like it because it's not your natural state of being. It isn't. And that's why you don't feel too comfortable with it at all. You say, okay, I'll this is my life, okay? It's what I have. And every one of our lives are spectacular because we're actually in these physical forms, right? And we can experience and we can master so many things through the heart-mind, and we can literally master our ego minds and our thoughts. And this is where you end up manifesting anything you care to experience. That's how powerful we are. Now, sometimes it gets mixed up because some people will use their ego minds and say how powerful they are, how much money they have, how much influence and power and control. That's all ego mind. That is not true power. That is artificial, make-believe power. True power is manifesting. True power is eliminating storms that do harm. That's true power. All of us have that. We just haven't discovered it yet. And most wouldn't believe it to begin with because of how they've been conditioned and programmed. So you can see the different steps that we alone initiate for ourselves to come into full understanding that we are the God in the body. And we know that the God is pure consciousness, right? And we know that it is all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It's the glue that puts universes together. Many things we don't understand about this universe because we have no memory of anything, just this life. And that will end as well. This blanket over our memories that we are just secluded into this one moment, this life, with no referencing. But see, when you live in the moment, do you really need anything else? And when you're in deep gratitude for the moment, do you really need anything else? And these are questions we ask ourselves. Not, gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves at all times. So they're inquiries. We're ourselves. Do you love this life exactly as it is? And are you in deep gratitude for this life exactly as it is this very moment, in this now, or not? And if not, then look into that in the quiet time. This isn't an analyzation of you. It is going deeper within to discover more about who and what you are. And the interesting thing is that you alone have the power to do that. You can only do that with yourself as well as all the rest of us, for ourselves. When you're happy and jolly, for whatever reason, the frequencies and everything are completely different than being down in the dumps. And you attract everything when you're happy and joyous that's happy and joyous. When you're down in the dumps, you attract everything that's down in the dumps. See, that's not complicated. It's not rocket science. And this civilization is beginning to wake up to the fact and understand that. And that's why we talk a lot about that this planet, we will collectively transform this planet into a God planet paradise. So it's interesting because we are heaven on earth. We are the God, the heaven, the kingdom of God, the heaven, the source creator, we are in these bodies, and yet most of us don't know it. We are heaven on earth. The body is earth, the God is heaven. Where is heaven? In you. You're the heaven. You see how everything has become so miscombobulated and so scripted. And it's untrue. But it does accomplish one thing. It keeps us from knowing who and what we are. It convinces us that everything is outside of us. And it's actually the opposite is true. None of us inherently enjoy destroying. Do we? Really not. No. So then the anti-civilization, okay, loves to destroy. So what is that all about if that's part of the one as well? Because we're always learning and experiencing. And once we've mastered our ego minds, there will not exist conflict on this planet. Ever. There will be no invasions of this planet, ever. Nothing will be tampered with or misdirected or misguided. Because we'll operate directly from the gods that we are within these bodies. Of course, we're in deep gratitude to have a vessel, a body, so that we can experience the material physical life. It's quite exciting. Very exciting, absolutely. Because you don't have tactile taste, and I've said this so many times before, taste, smell, feel. We don't have any of that as gods. As pure consciousness. We don't. So you can see why so many of us, the way it's been set up, are so seduced into physical form and not having any memory of any past lives. Because it's so enticing to be in a physical, organic form. You can taste, you can smell, you can do so many things, but yet the civilization takes them so much for granted, as if they're not wonderful. It's an everyday thing, right? They're not wonderful. It's just part of life. What's so exciting? You get someone who is aware that they're the God in the body, you'll know it. You know why? Because everything to them is spectacular. Their breath, right? A cut on their face. Tears, laughter, joy, food, sex. It's all spectacular to them because they're in a physical form, knowing that they're the God within it. It's absolutely off the charts. How many of us feel or experience that? Not many. So in the quiet time of this meditation, ask yourself, ask the question, why am I not master and commander of me? Why am I not master and commander of my ego mind? You understand, this is heart-mindedness. This isn't ego-mindedness. So this isn't about ridiculing yourself, cutting yourself down, being heavy and hard on yourself. This is about loving deeply and eternally you. Join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out.
Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. This universe is lending you a helping hand. In fact, this universe is always conspiring in your favor. It wants you to be happy and oh so successful. You are supported every step along your path. Simply relax deeply into this knowing and see the magic that unfolds. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we'll return here Friday, March 22, 2024, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our Global Guided Meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Reverse Aging call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on around you or within you.